The night echoed with the cries of the lost. Every wail, a tale of a soul unreturned from the dark woods surrounding Chikowa Girls High. We learned to ignore these cries, a green chorus that became the lullaby of our school years. I attended Chikowa, a prestigious secondary school nestled in the heart of our village. It was a beacon of success, with its students consistently topping national exams and its halls lined with trophies from inter-school competitions. But beneath its gleaming surface lurked a chilling pact sealed in shadows. My name is Adanna. My journey at Chikowa began with the innocence of seeking knowledge. Surrounded by girls who shared dreams as lofty as mine. However, the dreams soon turned to nightmares. It started subtly. Whispers of girls who went to fetch water and never returned. Of domes haunted by the ghosts of the missing. Why do you think they never found them? I asked Chioma, my roommate, one cold July night. Chioma's eyes darted around our dimly lit room before she whispered, "They say the forest swallows them whole, but I think it's something worse." The unease set in when the first disappearance happened in our term. Layla, a bright-eyed history buff, vanished. We searched everywhere, canvassing the endless woods, our calls fading into the creeping fog. Nothing, no trace, no answers, just an empty bed in our dorm. The school held a somber assembly. Mr. Okafor, the proprietor, stood before us, his face a mask of sorrow. "We must stand together in these trying times," he proclaimed, but his eyes, cold and calculating, never met ours. It became a dark pattern. Each year, without fail, 5 girls disappeared. Rumors swelled among us, whispers of curses and dark omens. The adults dismissed them as tragic accidents or unresolved mysteries, yet none dared question too loudly. One evening, caught in a rare moment of candor, Mrs. Ngozi, our beloved literature teacher, confided in us after class. "Be careful, girls. Not all is as it seems here. Some stones are better left unturned." As the disappearance mounted, so did the prosperity of Chikowa. New buildings sprouted like wildflowers. Scholarships flowed in, and our sports team were unbeatable. It was a grotesque trade. Youth for success, one whispered in hushed tones by those who dared to speculate. "Have you noticed how every tragedy brings something new to this school?" Chioma said, her voice trembling. I nodded, the realization dawning harsh and grim. It's like a macabre tide, bringing in fortune on the backs of the vanished. My suspicion turned to action when I stumbled upon an old ledger hidden in Mr. Okafor's office during a detention cleaning. The pages were filled with the names, each accompanied by dates and strange symbols. Layla's name was there, marked under the year she disappeared. Chills ran down my spine as I quickly copied down what I could. I looked. I knew I had to understand more. That night, I shared my feelings with Chioma. We need to figure out what these symbols mean, she insisted, poring over the scribbled notes. Our investigation led us to an old library in the village, where an ancient librarian recognized the symbols. These are old voodoo sigils, he explained with a worried look. They are used in rituals to bind and to call forth spirits. Whoever uses this knows exactly what they are summoning. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into a terrifying picture. Mr. Okafor was not just our school's proprietor, he was orchestrating a dark bargain. Armed with this knowledge, Chioma and I confronted Mrs. Ngozi. Her face paled as she listened to our findings. I feared as much, she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. I've seen things. At night, shadows moving, chants from the woods. I wanted to leave, but he has something on all of us. What do we do? I asked, my voice steady despite the fear gripping my heart. We expose him, but carefully. We are playing with fire here. The plan was set for the night of the school's annual bonfire. Chioma and I, equipped with a small camera and our notes, would catch Mr. Okafor in the act. We hid near the edge of the woods, the air thick with the scent of burning pine and the heavier, fouler smell that soon filled the night. We didn't have to wait for too long. Mr. Okafor, cloaked and chanting, emerged with a group of wooded figures, their hands tied to a sinister purpose. We filmed everything, the rituals, the chants, even the horrifying moment when the shadows seemed to answer his calls. But then, a twig snapped under my foot. Oh no. Loud in the silent dread of the night. The group turned, their eyes piercing through the darkness towards us. Run! Chioma hissed, pulling at my arm. We fled the sounds of their pursuit, a terrifying cadence behind us. We didn't stop running until we reached Mrs. Ngozi's house, the footage still secure. She watched it, her face a ghastly white. This is enough to bring him down, she said, determination still in her features. We need to show this to the police, I said, my resolve hardening. Chioma nodded, her eyes fierce. Let's end this nightmare. The following day was a blur of activity. The police arrived, their presence a stark contrast to the usual calm of Chikowa. They arrested Mr. Okafor, the evidence undeniable. As he was led away, his eyes found mine, a silent promise of retribution in the depths. The school was in uproar, the truth a bitter one. It shook the foundations of Chikowa. In the aftermath, the school struggled to regain its former glory. The buildings remained, but the spirit had changed. Parents withdrew their children, whispers of the cursed school spreading far and wide. Chioma and I stayed to finish our studies, a decision born of defiance and the desire to reclaim our place from the shadows that had once consumed it. Graduation was a muted affair. We, the survivors, walked the stage with a bittersweet joy, each diploma a testament to our resilience. I'm proud of us, Choma whispered as we threw our caps into the air, a grey sky watching over us. So am I replied, feeling the weight of our journey lift slightly with the wind. Chikowa never returned to its former prosperity, but it found a new identity, one rooted in truth and cautionary tales. As for me, I left the village, carrying the lessons of those dark days in my heart. Sometimes, at night, I still hear the echoes of the lost, their cries a reminder of the cost of silence and the price of speaking up. Years later, I found myself drawn back to the village, a pull in my heart that wouldn't fade. The school had been closed down, its buildings overrun by creeping vines and the relentless passage of time. As I walked through the abandoned classrooms, echoes of laughter and whispers bounced off the walls, mingling with darker, quieter shadows. I met Nkechi, a former teacher who stayed in the village, her life too intertwined with the school to leave it behind completely. You know, they tried to cleanse the place, she told me, her voice as soft as a horn against the backdrop of chirping crickets. Brought in priests and traditional healers, but some things they don't wash out so easy. We walked to the edge of the woods, the site of so many whispered secrets and chilling rituals. The trees seemed to watch in silent judgment, their branches twisted in sorrowful gestures. Sometimes I think I see them, Nkechi confessed, her eyes scanning the darkening woods. The girls wandering like they are still lost, still looking for a way back. The thought sent a shiver down my spine. Could there be remnants of the souls lost, trapped in the perpetual twilight of the forest? That night, I dreamt of Leila and the others, their faces emerging from the shadows, their eyes pleading for release. I woke with a start, the dream too real, the chill of the night air too biting. Determined, I returned to the woods by day, armed with a resolve to put to rest whatever remnants of pain lingered. I carried offerings, traditional tokens of peace and passage. As I laid them down, a wind stirred, the leaves whispering in a sigh that felt like a reluctant acceptance. Months turned into years, and the story of Chikowa faded into a somber legend. But those of us who had lived it, who had seen the darkness beneath the surface, carried it with us. I wrote about it, a book that told our story, not just for those lost, but for those who survived, who needed to remember and to warn. The book found its way into hands far beyond the village. Its tale a stark reminder of the cost of unchecked ambition and the shadows that feed on silence. Now, standing once more under the expansive sky of my childhood, the cries of the lost long silence, I feel the weight of the past and the hope of the future. Chikowa taught me the power of voice, the strength found in unity, and the deep, unyielding courage it takes to confront the darkness. As I look towards the horizon, the sun casting long shadows behind me, I know that while the school's gate may remain closed, the stories within them will open paths to healing, understanding, and vigilance. For in every shadow that darkens, there is also light, brave and waiting to be cast. This is the end of today's story. I hope that you learned a lot from this, and I also hope that you have subscribed to this channel. Please subscribe so that we grow this community together. Also turn on your notification buttons so that when I post, you'll be the first to know. Like, share, comment, and tell a friend to subscribe. Thank you, and God bless you.